Hold on to your Santa hat because it's time to make a ridiculously adorable card. These peeking pets are so adorable, and peeking out of the Doodle Window Slimline die, you can't beat it for cuteness. So here are some of the supplies we're going to use. We're going to use the Under the Tree Slimline Patterned Paper Pack, the Doodle Window Slimline die, the Peeking Pet Stamp Set and dies, and I just couldn't resist sneaking in some pet specs, those little glasses. Put those right on your little pet. It's so adorable. Some of the images in the Peeking Pet stamp set are line art, so you can color them in. So the Santa hat here, I inked it in our Midnight ink. It is waterproof, so it will not smear when you add a wet marker to it. This is the Tombow blender pen. So basically it's a clear marker. You can see I'm picking up color from the lid of my ink pad, and then I'm able to color with it. So since I used watercolor cardstock for this image, I'm able to go over the same spot more times than I would be able to if I just used regular cardstock. It's a little bit more forgiving and gives you more room to work. So I went over the whole image first with Rockin red, and then I need to do some shading. So I grabbed a darker red color. So this is our Cranberry Fizz ink pad, and I'm just highlighting around the edge of the hat and where the top of the hat folds over. Just add a little bit of extra darker ink right in there. Gives it a shaded look. If you want to do even more shading, you can get a even darker red, or maybe try a color like Blackjack, which is our dark gray. That will add some darkness to it and give you some nice shaded look. So then I want to stamp a few more of these little peeking puppies. Oh, they are so cute. So the two do not require coloring in, so I'm just going to leave them black and white. And for this third one, we're going to use just a really light brown and just add a little bit of shading around the edges. So this is Sandcastle ink. And I'm just going to, like I said, add it around the edges, add a little around the ears and around the nose, and give a little bit of dimension to this sweet little pup. I wanted to add a little more color to these guys, so I grabbed my It's a Girl ink pad and I added a little pink to their ears on all three of these cute little pups. The Doodle window die cuts out 3 circles of various sizes with embossed accents around the edges. If your die cut machine doesn't have enough tension to make the embossed accents, you may want to use a shim. Sometimes I just use a piece of copy paper and put it on top of my cutting pad or cutting plate and run it through so that the sandwich is a little bit tighter and it pushes down more on your cardstock and makes the impressions a little deeper. I'm going to stamp Mary right on the top of this card layer, and I'm going to do kind of an ombre effect here with several different shades of green. So we're going to start with Lime Rickey, and I'm going to ink and stamp the entire Mary. Next up, I'm going to use Grass Skirt, and I'm only inking the right part, the RRY, with Grass Skirt. That will darken up the RRY. And then I'm going to use Deck the Halls and just do part of the R and the Y. And this is going to give me an ombre effect, so it gets lighter green to darker green across and just adds a fun interest to your card. And then for the patterned paper to go behind the Doodle window die, I have all these gorgeous patterns. Which one is your favorite? I think I probably couldn't have gone wrong with any of them. This is Grass Skirt, Lime Rickey, Deck the Halls, Rockin Red, and Cranberry Fizz. So your ink color palette is selected for you when you use our pattern paper packs. Makes it really nice. So let's look at a couple of those patterns behind the windows here. Do you have a favorite? Of course, if I used the Peace, Love, and Joy paper, I would have had to orient the card the other way, or maybe I could have just die cut the circles out and laid them in there. I thought the triangles would be really fun, so I'm just going to add this and adhere both of these layers together. And then I need secondary sentiments. So I wanted a piece of Rockin Red cardstock. So I just took my Rockin Red ink pad, ran it along my cardstock strip, and just like that, I have Rockin red cardstock. And then I'm stamping "We Wish You A" on that paper, and then I stamped it twice as long as I was at it, so that if I cut it wrong, I had another shot. And then Christmas. So then I'm just going to cut these out into little strips, each word on its own, and then I can layer them onto my card front. Now, cutting cardstock for Slimline cards. This is how we cut our cardstock, and they fit into a number 9 or a Slimline envelope. You can find those in our shop. They fit perfectly. So, and it's also less waste on your cardstock. So take your piece of 8.5 by 11, cut it at 7, and then score at 3.5, and you have your card base. And then you have a little strip of cardstock left over, and that was great for layering. So you can see these fit perfectly with our die cuts from our Slimline dies and our patterned paper. Now it's time to tuck these little cuties, these little peeking pets, into all of the windows. I'm going to layer Merry Christmas or Christmas right over the Merry. I'm using foam tape for all of these words so that they pop up off the card. Gives it extra dimension. Then I'm going to tuck each of these pups into a window, add a little bit of adhesive behind. They're so cute. The one in the middle, I love how his ear is sticking out. Oh my gosh, so cute. And then adding the hats. I wanted these to have more dimension, so foam tape on the back, and then just tuck a hat right over each of the pups' heads. Before I adhere the hats on, Santa hats and bunny tails, you have to add white puff twinkle. So I'm taking my Wow embossing pen and I'm just coloring onto the hat where the fur is, and then I'm going to add the embossing glitter to where the fur is, and then I'm going to heat it. So this white puff twinkle is exactly what it's named. It's white, and when you heat it, it's going to puff up a little bit, and then it has some twinkle in there, sparkle. So it's absolutely perfect for Santa hats. So we'll tuck a hat onto each of the pups' heads. How cute is this? I love it. One last little detail, the pet specs. So I die cut the little glasses and I dabbed them on top of the Lime Rickey ink pad to color them Lime Rickey. You could also just swipe your ink pad across your cardstock first and then die cut. And then add a little glue, add the pet specs onto the pet, and you have a card that is sure to make anyone smile at this holiday season. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. All products are linked below, and be sure to head over to the blog post for more information. Have a great day.